Okay. We're halfway through, guys. Get your stretchers out. Get yourself something to drink or eat. Still got some gamer subs left. So, drinking wise, I'm good. Man, I recorded 9 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. What the fuck? I was literally watching a James Brown concert in another tavern that came on. Yeah. Ain't that a happy coincidence? But I recorded 9 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6 reaction. I'm very far behind on my other channel. So I recorded 9 episodes. I'm going to edit that into a monster video, and then I have to record another 9 episodes of that anime, and I have to record a couple episodes of Demon Slayer, the third season, and then record individual episodes of Spy Family. All stuff I started reacting to on my channel like half a year ago, and then I stopped because the motivation fell off. But I'm going back into it. But the funny thing is, I did say in my recording at the beginning, I was like, I'm not gonna make any more promises, because I always said like, oh, I'm gonna do better, I'm gonna be more consistent. But then like something would come in the way, and I would not be consistent anymore. And I said, like, I'm not going to promise it anymore. I'm just going to do my best whenever motivation is there. And that's why, as a punishment to myself, I will record as much episodes as possible, edit them all together, and give you guys, like, a giant video to watch. And literally, as I record the first 4 episodes, because I had to stop, because it was getting late, and I was like, my voice was, like, having a bit of a moment at that point. I was like, okay, let me stop here, and then we come back to it a couple days later to react to the next 5 episodes. And then I said in the episode, like, oh, things can come in the way that will prioritize. And literally, as I said that, I get like a call the next day saying, hey, do you want to work on a short film? And I was like, yeah. So literally, I couldn't record for like another 5 days afterwards, because I was working on a short movie, which is exactly the thing I mentioned in the recording I will focus on more. So it was just like interesting how that happened. I was like, yeah, listen guys, I won't promise you that I can work on this on a consistent level. And then they're like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, I won't make any promises. Next day, hey, you want to work on something? I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Okay, retail Specters. Like with SCP, it's a lot easier because, of course, I have weekend, streams, and there's a lot more consistent upload because, like, I read so many already, and uploading them is a lot easier. But yeah, retail Specters. Here we go. Another one with her picture, guys. Euclid. I just now realize the foundation logo is grey. SCP-1775 has been designated as a condemned building. A barbed wire fence has been constructed around a 20-meter radius to deter unauthorized access. Inquiries into the status of SCP-1775 are to be fielded by Samuel Clark Properties, Samuel Clark Properties, SCP. Aha, I see what you did there. A Foundation construction front. Ever since like last stream where we had SPC multiple times in a row, I'm way too high alert on things that spell SCP now. So inquiries into the status of SCP-1775 are fielded by Samuel S. Clark C. Properties BP. Oh! A Foundation construction front. During SCP-1775's active phase, researchers are to monitor -X instances for any deviations in movement and behavior patterns. Should any deviations be noted, the current head researcher of SCP-1775 is to be informed without delay. SCP-1775 is an abandoned department store located in Detroit, Michigan. Of course, in Detroit. SCP-1775 was closed in 1979 and shows wear and damage typical of Detroit's urban decay, with interior support beams and ceiling in advanced stages of neglect. Although similar in appearance and condition to other abandoned buildings in the Detroit area, SCP-1775 is distinguishable by the lack of any evidence of impromptu human habitation, squatting, such as trash and makeshift bedding. That, honestly, would also freak me out in real life. If in a place like Detroit, where it is known that a bunch of houses are abandoned, and squatters will be a thing in almost every abandoned house, walking into an entire warehouse that has not a single person in it would worry me a lot. I'd be like, why is this one not touched? There's so much space. You have a roof above your head. You could literally have an entire army of squatters could chill here. Like, why is this empty? You know what I mean? Like, that, for some reason, that would creep me out. It's like that. It's like those moments, like in a forest, right? When you constantly hear animals going on and the rustling of bushes and leaves, but then you end up in a spot and suddenly all that stops. Like, no more animal makes a noise. The wind suddenly stops. There's no noise. It's just silence. You're like. And that's usually, is like an indication of skinwalker is close by or something like that. So that's the feel I would get if I were to go into a place that is surrounded by abandoned buildings, and every building has a squatter except that one giant building doesn't have a single one of them. That's how I would feel. SCP-1775's anomalous properties manifest between the hours of 9 and 20 every day of the weeks, excluding Sunday. During this time, the damage to its interior will be repaired, restoring it to near-perfect conditions. Walls will be repainted, crumbling support beams are restored, etc. Despite these cosmetic changes, the interior of SCP-1775 will remain devoid of any material not present prior to the activation event, with the exception of -X. -X, where X designates a number, are a series of humanoid spectral entities that manifest within the interior of SCP-1775 during an activation event. Aside from occasional deviations, see Addendum A. -X instances follow a set pattern of behavior during all activation events. All attempts to interact with or alter their behavior patterns have failed due to their intangible nature. That'd be a bit spooky, not gonna lie, right? It would just be off. But you're gonna move after the cessation of an SCP-1775 activation event at 20 o'clock. Wait, 20 hours, yeah. -X instances will vanish, and the interior of SCP-1775 will once again resemble its inactive state. Attempts to observe SCP-1775 during this transition have been met with failure. Recording equipment, including personal tracking devices placed in the interior, spontaneously fails, and personnel present during the shift have never been recovered. Even weirder would be the fact that the place is in perfect condition. Yeah, that would also be weird. If you walked into a building and it's nothing's off, nothing's broken. But it'd also be weird to come back after 20 o'clock and see it all be disheveled, and you're like, who came in here and ruined this? And the next day you come back at 9 o'clock and it's just back to being pristine. You're like, okay. I'm pretty sure I did not hallucinate the fact that it looked like a shithole at 21 o'clock or something like that. You know what I mean? I know it was dark and all, but I'm pretty sure it looked awful before. -X behavior log, entity 3, 11 to 17 o'clock, Monday to Thursday. Manifest near a shelf at the back of the store. Spends the entirety of the manifestation event bending down, picking up non-existent objects and placing them on the shelf. -9, 9 to 18 o'clock, Tuesday, Saturday. Manifests behind a counter at the front of the store, currently theorized to be a cashier despite no equipment being present. Frequently moves its fingers up and down in a typing motion in front of its register. Occasionally pausing to make motions with its hands resembling the removal and organization of cash. Entity -29. 9 to 20 o'clock Monday and Saturday, stands near the entrance to the store, holding its hands behind its back. When a person enters the store, it will briefly wave at them before returning to its previous stance. To date, it has never shown any signs of movement unless a person enters the store. So basically, that disheveled look is how it looks actually now. And during its active hours, it becomes back to being like a functioning warehouse, you know? As if it was never abandoned to begin with. Addendum A. On several occasions, -X instances have deviated from the recorded behavior. A brief summary of these deviations is provided below. Entity 3. Before placing another item on the shelf, it placed its hands over its head and assumed a fetal position. It remained in this position until the event ended at 20 o'clock. Ooh. I have a theory, but let's go on. Entity 9. Stepped away from the counter and covered its face in its hand in apparent sign of despondence. After 30 minutes, it ceased its action and resumed its normal behavior. Ran from its manifestation point in the west side of the store to the east side, colliding with the opposite wall. After colliding, it rapidly punched the wall for approximately 3 hours before collapsing and remaining motionless until the event ended at 20 o'clock. I think... Here's my theory. I think they were blown up. Some sort of like... Because at the end, the warehouse is pristine, yeah? But we don't know if those specters, from what time period they are, right? I think that they were about to... Like, doesn't matter if it's like 1940 or if it's like more modern, but I think they were aware that their life was about to end. So one Spectre got into fetal position, like just scared. The other Spectre was crying because they were aware of the upcoming doom. Another Spectre tried to run out but collided into a wall, right? Which means originally there must have been an open door there that got barricaded for whatever reason. That's why it's punching it. So I think these are Spectres that lived a happy warehouse life. Sold stuff, had customers, and then some event happened where either like they would all die, and they were aware of it. It could be a robbery that ended up in a mass murder. Could have been a bomb was inside the warehouse. The only reason why I'm like not too sold on the bomb thing is because the warehouse itself is not blown up. It's not like completely destroyed. But something in the warehouse happened where could also be like a poisonous gas, maybe, something like that. Just something happened where the people working in that warehouse were fully aware we're about to die. And they all, of course, reacted differently. One of them gave up, went fetal position, one of them cried, and one of them tried to escape, but to no avail, couldn't because the exits were locked off. That's what I'm thinking it is. What do you guys think? I hope you guys are still around. I haven't heard from you all for a bit. I think your thing makes the most sense. Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that would be the only explanation. Yeah, that's definitely it. Yeah, okay. I wonder if these specters are going through a time loop, as in like they are constantly living the same day, and occasionally that time loop goes to that one moment where they're about to die, and then it just resets to like a day, like the same day again. But I don't think they're in a time loop, because like it does say whenever a specter, for example, the one that has the hands behind the back, they will only wave if somebody were to like enter that space, right? So it's not that they are in a time loop stuck. It seems like they think they're still leading a functioning warehouse, but then like that there's like a split. There's like one day for a split moment. They remember being sent back to that one moment before they died. That's the only time loop part I think is happening to them. Where like the whole time they think, oh, this is a new day, there's a new customers, and then after a while, suddenly that whatever tragic event happened is being announced to them, or like they're aware of it, and they reset back to that time where it was about to happen, and then they panic, and then that event passes by, they die from that, and then it resets back to them acting as if nothing happened. Either that, or they're just breaking down due to the fact retail life is. Honestly, that could be another thing. You know what? I like that. I like that it also is that they are aware that they're stuck. That they're stuck in this constant, like, even in death, they're still doing retail job, and now they're trying to escape it. That is also something that's possible. And then whatever power is over them forces them to like reset back to normal. That could also be. You're right. Both are possible. I just think it's maybe because because they're specters. In a warehouse that gets like rebuilt to its pristine time. I had a feeling that maybe they died from some like tragic event in there. But at the same time, it could also just be that like, but that's I don't know. I think I like your idea as well, but I feel like I like the idea more like that a bunch of people died inside the warehouse, and then it got abandoned due to the deaths there. But then the specters came back, and now it's just continuing doing the same thing. Who knows? Who knows?